The hurt, I swear it really just don't fade away. But where you been, nigga, really I'd say. Got the type of nigga y'all just really hate. To work you, I swear I'm a nigga, film a play. Stacking money, yeah, like heyday. Praying for some better days. All this pain that you see that be on my face. Looking guilty like a nigga caught case. Cause lately I swear I've been in the dog's place. Wish that I can go and I could hide my face. Don't know what the fuck lately to really change, but I swear I got money in the bait like I'm pork chase. Something feel like I could be for great. Never felt like you did really just be dumb things. I'm losing no pain, I swear all that shit is fake. But I swear every day I just still be getting paid. But all that really do, it really numb the pain. The hurt, I swear it got me feeling so insane. Every day I put a smile up on my face, but every day I swear that shit just be so fake. Frontin' one like I'm to play. Swear every day I swear I be losing faith. Hoping that they the same fate. But lately I swear I just been here and day. Lately I swear I just really sad days. Yeah, y'all know what I'm feeling, y'all understand what I'm saying. I swear to God, yeah, I ain't really playing. Feel like lately I just be up in the state. But I don't know there's any more that I can take. Try to do better, but I feel like it's too late. I'm in my head, girl, cause that pussy was great. I swear I was addicted to that pussy fake. Lady feeling so degrade.
Just delusional about the business. Him and his pops are very, very delusional. His pops is the biggest fucking clown in the entire sport. This guy was on the record with saying they're doing 2 million buys for fighting Kambosos. Now, think about how fucking stupid that sounds. You got...
What's good with it, family? I'm up in this thing. I'm back at it. Y'all know I had to start this thing just a little bit different. I told y'all, give me a little bit of time. I'm working, I'm moving. I'm trying to do the best I can. I want to make sure I'm bringing y'all good content and y'all enjoying everything that we got going inside of the Black Goose TV family. So as always, if y'all come up in here, first and foremost, I want to say welcome back. And if you're new, salute to you. Fluence Boxing is in full swing. Not yet. We still got some kinks to work out. We still got some things to perfect. We still got some things, that we want to make sure is nice, soothed, and looking the way and moving the way we would like for it to be. But just rock with us, baby, so we're going to get better. Always positivity, blessings to all y'all out there, man. That's all I'm hoping and praying for. And that's all I want to come my way. If you're not part of the Black Goose TV family, please change that. You know what I'm saying? Hit the subscribe button that's down below. Also hit the like button that's down below. Get your boy into the algorithm. I want to get into the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Because we're on the boxer side of the game now when it comes to this. And, you know what I'm saying? We heavy with it. Also later tonight, I'm hoping that, we can get Fluence and Zen popping to you after this. So y'all look out for that. If y'all looking for some extra comment, I'm talking to Zen a little bit later, see what he's feeling. But anyways, let's get straight to it. We ain't going to, run around the track too much. Let's sprint straight to that finish line. What we're going to be talking about here, baby. Kambosos is reacting to Teofimo Senior. All right. That's what I got in the title. That's what we're going to be talking about. We got other things we also want to touch on, but also how y'all feel about that start right there? You know what I'm saying? I dug up that old clip. It wasn't that old. And obviously it's popular. It's off Fight Hype, one of the most, powerful boxing channels since I don't know, remember how long, but let's be 100 with you. That was Leonard Ellerby talking about Teofimo and his pops. And this was before the Kambosos fight. This was, let me look at the date. Let me look at the date because I don't want to give y'all nothing that's fake. You see what I'm saying? It was about 12 days ago. So it was about 2 weeks ago that it happened. So, at least a week before the actual Kambosos Teofimo fight. You know how Leonard Ellerby is. You know how anybody that's associated with, TMT, PBC, how they talk when it comes to the business, man. They really break it down and they really try to really make you realize that in today's day and age, hey, we're talking about money. We're talking about buys, filling up the seats, tickets. We're talking about pay-per-views. If you can get to that point, we're talking about all these different type of things that as of now, it doesn't necessarily translate to having a belt. That's kind of the totality of that interview. So I don't want y'all to think he's just really coming at Teofimo Lopez or his pops, but he's just saying, man, As far as business, the way y'all was trying to make it seem like Lopez and Kambosos was finna be the biggest thing in the world, you are delusional in that aspect. And I think it's a very interesting thing to kind of play. You don't have to play too much into it. You don't have to. We're not going to really dissect that too much. But I think it's an interesting thing from Leonard Ellaby to point that out. And then we fast forward to last weekend and what happened between Teofimo and George Kambosos last weekend, and what we're going to be beautiful transition from not playing, but what we're going to be about to talk about is the reaction of how Teofimo basically thought he won. He said he won 10 rounds of 2, and also where Teofimo Lopez Sr. is basically piggybacking off of that, parading off of that, whatever you want to say, and he's in full support of Teofimo, saying there's no way he lost that fight, people have win. So and what is the aspect that I'm touching when it comes to what I'm saying is Leonard Ellaby was saying that he was delusional, right? Interesting choice of words, delusional, to think George Kambosos versus Teofimo Lopez was some huge mega fight simply because Teofimo beat Loma. And then we circle back, or we shouldn't even say circle back, fast forward to what recently happened with Teofimo, George Kambosos, and the comments coming from Teofimo Sr. as well as Teofimo. And those same words, delusional, was used from George Kambosos to Teofimo about his aspect of the fight. He said he must be delusional, mate. And then, obviously there's been a big backlash to his pops on how, he's been reacting and things he's been saying. But, this is one thing, I want to be 100% with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm never a guy really, when it comes to boxing to, just stay on the hot topic. So I don't want y'all to think I'm, dry and clean this Teofimo subject, because everybody's been talking about, let's be real with it. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to shed a little bit of light on Kambosos. That's what I wanted to do. And I want to talk a little bit more about the victory Kambosos had. I want to talk about what he did right, because, obviously it's fun, to talk about, someone, when they're at the bottom, right? When they're going through the difficult time, especially in today's day and age, that's what's going to get the clicks. That's what everyone's going to watch, keep talking about, a lot of the negativity surrounded by the whole Teofimo George Kambosos fight. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of the things and antics and missteps that have come from that camp, the Teofimo Lopez camp, has overshadowed Kambosos' win, unfortunately. Not only that, us as boxing fans, man, we're so stuck on stardom, we're so stuck on records, and it's not really our fault. That's what we've kind of been bred in to really be focused on. But if you really look at it, like, George Kambosos winning kind of digs into the factor of something that I was speaking about on the Terrence Crawford Fluence boxing I was doing. Y'all go check that out, where I was saying that we're so hyped up and what should I say? What's the good word for it? Manipulated by mainstream, where we think that if a fighter is with one promotion, or if a fighter is from this area, they're tougher, or they're the best, or this, that, they have to be under PBC to be the best, or under top rank, or these things. But I'm like, slowly, you got to understand that the game was changed because of Al Heyman. That's why there was the big lawsuit and all these things from Bobby Arum, all that good stuff, where a power dynamic shifted with the top upper echelons of the boxers, where they started worrying more about the record and getting the most bread out of what they can get. It's like, hey, we're not going to fight this guy at this point in my career, and I'm going to lose the bag. And that's a good thing for the fighters. But unfortunately, it did turn into a bad thing for the fans, where we weren't getting the fights we wanted to see. COVID happened, so on and so forth, boom, boom. And I just think we're at a point now where hopefully boxing fans who are too much fixated on, what banner they're fighting on, or what promotion they're fighting under, who's their trainer, whatever it may be, you start just looking at the skills, and you understand, like, man, these guys, there's top level echelons boxers in all different parts of the country, in all different parts of these promotions, and all it takes is one night, or the right fight, or the right stylistic matchup, and it can change. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stop being so in the bright lights when it comes to, oh, this fighter fights with PBC, so he's the best. All the best competition is in top rank. Like, that's not true, man. None of those things are true. So I'm not going to get too far off the topic. My point of saying all these things is basically we have to highlight Kambosos and what he did. I think this is my opinion. I might be wrong, but I think at least over on my side of things, where I'm checking out when it comes to boxing news, his greatness that night is being overshadowed. So what I want to do for Fluence Boxing, I'm going to get a little love to George Kambosos. We're going to look at the fight in the sense of, we're going to look at some statistics, the punch statistics of each round. because we're going to see if it really was that close of a fight. We're going to find out if it really was that close of a fight, like people are saying. We're going to see if Teofimo and his camp was right. When maybe they should have won 10 rounds to 2. Statistics doesn't say everything. It says a lot. It says enough, especially if you watch the fight. It makes a lot more sense. If you haven't watched the fight, don't look at the statistics. If you haven't watched the fight, statistics help. That's in anything. But how can you run a business without knowing what works and what doesn't? Anyways. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at a little bit of what he said, his reaction basically to, Teofimo and his pops and how they're saying they won. He had a short interview on Ariel Hawani's YouTube channel. So we're going to look a little bit on that. So let's get into it. First thing I do want to obviously pull up is going to be the statistics, baby. Let's look at the statistics. Let's look at the numbers. Let's see if they were really, this is really as close of a fight as Teofimo's camp was saying, first and foremost, huh? So we got this up right here. I think this is a good look. I want the numbers big. I want you guys to be able to see the numbers. So if we're going round by round, you can see here. First round. Now, first and foremost, we know that what happened in the first round. We know how important and significant was the first round was, right? I thought actually Lopez came out too overly aggressive in that first round. He was kind of it obviously, in my opinion, the way I saw it, whether it was their game plan or not, it looked to be an underestimation of his opponent, because I thought, he came out. There's a difference between coming out aggressive and calculated and coming out aggressive and just feeling like you can just walk through your opponent, which a lot of times that means there is no respect for your opponent in the aspect of defense, and that ended up being exploited by Kambosos with that first round knockdown. So you can see here, first round, 20 of 55 total punch landed, 12 of 42 for Kambosos. So, I watched the fight. I don't know if you did. That makes sense. Even though Lopez did come out wild and it did seem like he was, he wasn't calculated in what he was trying to do, but he wasn't calculated or measured in what he was trying to do, but he knew what his goal was. So there's a difference, obviously. If you have a goal and you have a plan, if you don't have anything laid out on how to get there, it's going to look a lot sloppier if you're trying to get there. But sometimes you do get there. You know what I'm saying? Like most times you don't, but sometimes you do get there, even if you have a gun. Now, with people, if you have a plan laid out, you have it written down, this is what I'm going to do, step A, step B. Usually, you know what I'm saying? It's not as much. You're not as surprised when, the mistakes come or when certain things come up to prevent you from getting to that line. In Lopez's case, in that first round, I saw him as more so, this is my goal, but I am not going to be measured, calculated on how to get there. I just feel like I can just get there. You know what I'm saying? And that, in my opinion, comes to an underestimation of Kambosos. I had that myself. But you can see 20-55, 12-42. But obviously there was that knockdown in the first round, which gave it to Kambosos. Now, the second round, Kambosos said something interesting in his interview. He said he felt like Lopez was still hurt, et cetera, et cetera. So if he felt like that, it kind of shows in the stats, because in my opinion, even though I remember the commentary team saying that the next two rounds went to Teofimo, but I remember watching, I was like, I feel like Kambosos won the next two rounds. But second round looked to go to Kambosos in the statistics. Lopez outlanded him, though, one round, way better percentage, though, in that third round. Fourth round, you can see the switch up. That could have easily went to Kambosos. So far, just on the statistics, you can argue maybe one round for Lopez, and he's down basically. He had a 10-8 round, so that's not a good look either. So fifth round, Teofimo got that one, 16 to 13. Sixth round, back to Kambosos. So you see, it was back and forth. Obviously, the percentages are much different, and that's where the confidence would come from someone like Teofimo, because even in the first round, where he wasn't necessarily calculated, he still had a higher percentage. And if you almost look at the board here, he had a higher percentage in every round except, let's see. Yeah, except the 12th round. That was only a round. He didn't have a higher percentage. So that's something actually you can take away from Teofimo's side and say, we can improve on that. We can beat this guy. We were punch for punch statistically on the board. I know that's not saying much. That's different than a game plan. Like I said, statistics only say so much, especially in boxing. But if you look at it, sixth round, Kambosos for the statistics. Seventh, Lopez. Eighth, you got to give that one to Teofimo just because it was the same amount, but it was even. Ninth, Teofimo. You can see this is where he started coming on strong. And then that 10th round, that's where he got that knockdown. 10-8. So you can say the next possibly 3 rounds, Teofimo won. So it was that close going up into the 11th round. I felt that way too. I honestly felt it was tied going up into the 11th. I said whoever wins the last 2 rounds, they should be awarded the fight. That's how I felt. I said that in the last stream. And what do you got here? 732, 1567. And obviously, Kambosos went absolutely nuts in that 12th round. So I do believe, at the end of the day, Kambosos did deserve it. We can look at the statistics. Obviously, it doesn't say everything. But the statistics back up some of the claims. Also, George Kambosos pulls off the shocker out, landing Teofimo Lopez 155 to 115 in power punches. Kambosos iced the win by landing Lopez 41-16 in rounds 11 and 12 to secure the 12-round decision win on 2 of the official cards. Lost one of the other ones. I think I'm saying it's that's why I still go into the fact it's hard for me to believe that their camp, Bob, all them, they're going to go back. And I was corrected in the last video, so salute to y'all, saying Josh Taylor, he's with Top Rank now. And you're right, I forgot last year he did sign a deal with Top Rank 4 years. I believe it was multi-fight deal, something like that. 2 years, 4 fights. I believe, somewhere around there. But he did sign with Top Rank. So them getting the Top Rank, them getting the Josh Taylor fight is a lot easier than I thought. And now I understand why all this Josh Taylor, Terrence Crawford mess is being talked about. And then I also understand also why Josh Taylor is obviously looking to move up. That's where all the goods is at, being with Top Rank. But besides the fact, this is just, I just want to pull up the statistics. I know for some of you, like, man, we don't care about the numbers. I don't care about any of that. I saw what Teofimo did. I saw the work, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go too extensive into it, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I wanted to give just due to Kambosos in the very simple fact that, if you did see the fight, you can easily pull up those, statistics, and you can have that as an argument to show why Kambosos definitely won it. I think the last 2 rounds was the deciding factor, and that's what changed the game. That's just my opinion. So, salute to Kambosos. So, like I said earlier too, man, let's get into it. Let's keep showing Kambosos that love, man. He did good work, and he deserves the respect and the love he's getting shown right now. And I just don't want the negativity that's coming from the Teofimo camp. Or I'll say the media, not them. Well, yeah, the negativity coming from them feeding to the media. Media's be able to play off that. I don't want that to take away from what Kambosos did, man. You got to give him his flowers while he's here. So, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this one up, make this one a little smaller though. You know what I'm saying? Just to show some love. By the way, if y'all up in here, or if you guys hop up in here, get up out of here, whatever it may be, man, hit a like button right before you go. If you decide to say, show some love, get me in the algorithm. But this is my man, Kambosos, basically just reacting to or responding, in a sense, you could say, to Teofimo Sr.
You handled it well in the moment, but now a couple of days later, how do you feel about the way Teofimo and his father handled the loss? The interview and everything that they said afterwards.
Yeah, look, full respect there. He's a young kid. I just took everything away from him. It was a punishing fight. I landed some very heavy blows, some very hard shots that would have taken out a lot of guys as well. He threw his all as well and couldn't put a real dent in me. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit there and be angry at the kid. It was that emotion. When you take something off, someone, especially in their own backyard in front of all their people, it stinks. I'm sure when he looks back at it now, he regrets it. I know we did lose a lot of fans. I know his own people were booing him and literally wanted to walk out of that arena and were angry. So that's just a mistake on his end, but he'll learn from it.
I was watching.
And see, that's why, man, you could see. Look, man, see, this is one thing you got to put into aspect too, is people always talking about, what I'm saying, they want the popularity, the fame, all things that come with it. George Kambosos was undefeated, had, a couple big wins. Maybe to some boxing fans, not on the level of what Teofimo did. He beat Loma. He beat Loma because everybody knows Loma, right? But that once again plays into the under a certain banner. So I just assume no one on another banner is on that level. Their fighters ain't on the same caliber. But that's the thing. George Kambosos, he came up. He was undefeated coming in the Teofimo Lopez fight, but he was under the radar in comparison to Teofimo. He didn't get the bright lights the way Teofimo did when he beat someone. When Kambosos beat Mickey Bay, he didn't get the bright lights. You know what I'm saying? He didn't, even though it's a formidable opponent. By the way, Mickey Bay is supposed to be coming back. He wants to fight Tevin Farmer. Remember, y'all, I got a fire video on Teofimo coming out this week, so y'all look out for that. But like, you know, this can be the play and the fact where, and George Kambosos, he touched on this in the interview in the beginning. He said, man, I looked at him, you know, I think, you know, over the time, like I wasn't worried about nothing because, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, just got to text my at the end of the day, you know, when I looked at him, like I just knew, you know what I'm saying? Like I was breaking him down over time. Like you could keep pushing off this date for us to fight, but I was good, man. Like I was in such a different zone, you know what I'm saying? He had his grandfather pass with his son being born the same day. He said, man, this is destined, bro. This is destined. So he said when he was breaking him down, and Ariel asked him, like, why, how? Like, what you mean by that? Like, how was you breaking him down? You wasn't talking nothing crazy. He said, it wasn't about me talking. I just told him the truth. He was like, I seen his eyes, like the stardom, man. It got too much to him, and that might be a complaint, man, or excuse me, that might be a valid point. Because I'm like, even his own father is saying, oh, he's not even accepting the fact. He just saying, I just kept him at 135 too long. It's time for him to go up to 140. You know what I'm saying? Like that's wild to me. So he said, you know what I'm saying? He was just like, he knew. So that once again, basically, George Kambosos, even though him having a just as good record, better record in the sense of numbers, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not who he fought, but numbers, formidable opponents. He probably had more formidable opponents than Teofimo, but Teofimo had the biggest name. George Kambosos was just as good as Teofimo, but because we're so fascinated, me and myself as well, and I never seen him fight. He not under the top ranked banner. There's no way he's on the same level because he's not fighting the same opposition. Boom, proved wrong. And him coming up, you know, still being as great as he is, but not having that spotlight until now. He a grown man, went through what he went through at 28 years old. You can see his reaction. This plays a little bit into what I was saying in the last video, where basically I was pinpointing, oh, okay, I can't feel a type of way when it comes to, you know, Teofimo's response in that particular moment. And I love that Kambosos said that too. That shows you it's a grown man right there. He's like, man, I ain't tripping on what he said like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna regret it, because when he looks back, you know, it was emotion, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You went through a hard fight. The ref accidentally raised his hands, all type of things, man. Young dude like that. It's hard to just be humble in that moment. I think he did the best job he could have. I actually think if his pops didn't follow up with all the bullshit, I think he wouldn't have took that much slack. But let me go ahead. We're gonna listen to a little bit more here, just to give Kambosos his flowers. Salute to you, Kambosos.
Watching an interview with Eddie Hearn after the fight with IFL TV, they do a great job. And in the middle of the interview, your father comes in. He's walking down the hallway, and he starts telling this amazing story about when you were a kid and you were presented with a schedule. You were doing, I think it was rugby, right? If memory serves me correct, yeah. And you were also doing a little boxing. But then one day, they told you at the gym that, you know, boxing was going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that coincided with your rugby schedule. And so your father said, basically, it's Thursday. By Monday, you have to decide, are you going down the rugby path or the boxing path? And you chose boxing. A, is that an accurate story? And B, ultimately, why did you choose boxing?
It is accurate. That is, you know, part of my story. You know, I loved rugby league as a young kid. You know, I wanted to be a footy player.
Similar to Sean Porter and Kenny Porter.
I would sit there and watch every single game, you know, throughout the weekend. But as soon as I fell into boxing, I fell in love with the sport, the raw combat, the man-to-man, you know, fighting. And you got your team, and your team is so much a part of it, but you got to do the business at the end of the day. It's all on you. And I didn't have that in rugby league. But when I lost all my weight, because I was an overweight kid, I was bullied at school. You know, the boxing is what saved me. That's what helped me lose that weight. Now, so I fell in love with the sport. Now, the rugby league got better, and I had to make that decision. Where was I going to go? What path was I going to take? And you know, boxing was the ultimate path. I had that boxing bag. You know, on the Monday when my dad came home from work, he goes, "What are we doing?" "We're going to the boxing gym. I'm going to be champion." And
wow.
You know, all the years back, look now, and you know, he's still there with me. You saw that raw emotion when he lifted me up. You know, all week he's had that emotion. You know, he even didn't take a step backwards from Lopez Senior.
Yeah.
You know, he's the real warrior, my father. And you know, we are side by side. We don't sit there and have any ego. We don't battle it out. You know, we are side by side. We are one. And it's a good moment, not only for myself, but for him.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Man, much love, much respect to George Kambosos, man, for real, for real. Um, that's dope. I always love, you know what I'm saying, especially now at the age I'm at, the point I'm at. I'm not old, but I'm at the age now, I always appreciate when I see, a father and a son bond to the level where it took them to greatness, man. That's so rare, man, in his life, and to still be there the whole time. That's rare. That's raw grit, especially in something like boxing. Boxing is, like you said, the purest form, the rawest form. And you know what I'm saying, to be where you at, man, that's the dopest thing. Like I love the father son duos when it comes to boxing, man. That's really like boxing is the only sport where you really like see that like to this extent, and that's why I love this shit, man. I love it, and it shows you that with it being such an individual sport, like especially for a son, if you got your pops there, man, greatness is to a whole nother level, man. But salute to George Kambosos, man. Salute to you, man. You got to enjoy that win. Keep enjoying it, man. I can't wait to see whatever's next. You said you want the winner of Devin Haney versus Coco Diaz. I love to see that. But I got a feeling, man, Bob Arum's going to try and get that rematch up in here. I do also want to show a little bit of respect to Teofimo, because Teofimo he dropped a nice little tweet. You know what I'm saying? And I want to show some love for that. He said, thank you all for the love and support tonight. I'm grateful for you all. I know God has plans set for me. They can punch me high, kick me low. It's going to take more than that to break my soul. God bless everyone and happy holidays. See you all back in the ring in 2022. So I did want to shed light on this because I'm like I said, when I start this positivity blessings, I know it's a little, like what? Leonard Ellaby came in talking shit, but I just positivity blessings. I want to give respect to Teofimo. Similar to what Kambosos said, he probably looked back at it. He said that wasn't the best way for me to respond, because I'm like, this brother he's 24 years old, man. He still has so many levels to climb, man. He has so much he can still accomplish. So salute to y'all. Both of you, Teofimo, George Kambosos, giving us a hell of a fight. I'm a boxing fan, head to the most illest, willest, dillest. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the type of guy I am. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, nowhere. But obviously, all the flowers, all the respect, and you know what I'm saying? Most of the love is going to Kambosos. Brother, you did it. So salute to that. And you put on a great fight, both of y'all. So salute to that. I ain't gonna be too long with it. Salute to the people. We got a couple more things we want to cover and we're going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And then we're going to get up out of here. By the way, hopefully I didn't say this. Hopefully y'all enjoyed y'all Monday. My Monday was whatever, but it's a lot better now because I love talking boxing. I'm enjoying this, man. Whoever hops in here, watches this later, whatever it may be. Hopefully y'all enjoying this stream. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. We're going to talk about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, man. We're going to talk about it. We got to talk about it. And we're not going to talk about it for too long. That's me being 100 with you. But I thought it would be something interesting to, at least speak about it, give it a little bit of love. Obviously, this is a fantasy matchup. I'm going to be 100 with y'all. I don't like talking about fantasy matchups too much. I like to talk about the real thing. I like to talk about real time, what's really happening right now, all that good stuff. But, I feel like we're the closest we've ever been to the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight. And if you are a boxing head, this is a fight that we've been talking about for 4 years, almost 3 years, almost. So with that being said, y'all also can see in the title a legend's name, 2 legends' names, actually. Kell Brook and Amir Khan, depending on how you want to look at it. Kell Brook and Amir Khan, obviously, they got their fight coming up next year in February. They had their first press conference today. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. We're not going to go too much into it, obviously, because it's still a minute away. You feel me? Still a minute away, but we got to touch on it just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Show a little bit love to the fight. That if you're a boxing head like me, I'm a Kell Brook fan to the core. I got to touch on a little bit. It's a big deal to me. Maybe not to others, but it's a big deal to me, even though a lot of people say too little, too late. Get that shit out of here. No one wants to see it now. I want to see it, and I'm going to watch it. But let me say this much. Kell Brook has some things to say about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Now, obviously, not in a bad light. It's not no disrespectful things. He's not even that type of dude. Y'all know how Kell Brook is. He's nothing but a gentleman. He's nothing but respect. That's the type of guy he is. You know what I'm saying? But obviously, with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford looming, if there's anything that's going to be talked about, It's what? What's finna be talked about? Who's a bigger puncher, Terrence Crawford or Earl Spence? So you know they asked him. Hopefully y'all saw the interview. If not, that's why your boy is here. We're going to pull it up. Obviously, you see in the title, I'm kind of giving it away for y'all what Kell Brook chose, but let's hear it from himself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would appreciate. Let's hear it from himself. Let's see what he actually has to say. I'm over here tripping. Let me see what this bad boy's at. There we go. There he is. Kell Brook, the smooth criminal. The slick, quick. Be careful, because if you ain't paying attention, he just might take your chick. Kell Brook, baby. Let's see what he got to say, man.
You've got to say that Crawford, he's number £1 per pound now. Nobody's done that to Porter. Nobody's not put out and stopped him like that, but like his dad said, he run underprepared. That's he said. What lost you the fight? He said underprepared. That's what he come out with. But listen,
I want to say something real quick with with Kell Brook said right there, and this can be backed up by Sean Porter disputing it. I think the underprepared comment from Kenny Porter was what's the word you can use? A distraction. Because it was such a disrespectful term. Why would he say underprepared? Why would he say he wasn't ready for the fight? He didn't train how he should have, when we all know Sean Porter never takes no days off. Right? Kenny Porter knows he wasn't underprepared. He knows how hard his son works. Right? And even Kell Brook, he said it, man, to say underprepared, that's what you're going to say after the fact. You would have said it before the fact. You would have hinted to it some way. Even you could give Teofimo that. For the fight, he was talking about, I'm injured. It's going to be Rocky Balboa, all type shit. That's bullshit too. But, you know what I'm saying? The underprepared card, I think it was more so, Kenny able to take away light from the fact that Sean Porter lost that fight. Simple as that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts to it. Doesn't matter if Sean Porter had a million other times. I think 100 times out of 100 times, Terrence Crawford beat Sean Porter. It doesn't change. And that's kind of Kell Brook. That's what he's saying. He's like underprepared. Like, they say that after the fact. You know what I'm saying? He knows what it is.
at the end of the day, he's one hell of a fighter. They're both one hell of a fighters, and the better man won on the night. And it was a great fight.
So, what do you make of Porter retiring after the fight? Do you think it's a good thing for him to do at this stage of his career?
Yeah, I think so. There's nothing really else for him to prove. He's beating with the best.
By the way, if y'all wondering where this interview is coming from, pro boxing fans, 12.7 subscribers, go hit him with a subscribe. I'm gonna hit him with a subscribe right now, baby. Subscription added. Y'all show him some love. I'm gonna give him the upvote as well. Great goddamn interview.
Alim, and has had Thurman, he's been in with Brook, he's been in Braun, he's been in with the top fighter like that. I don't think there's much more for him to do. So before it starts, the sport you can legally get killed in. I think before you go on too much, I think it's probably best for him to retire. Yeah.
You've been in there with Spence and obviously Crawford.
So this is obviously the question that we've been waiting for. He's about to ask him, you've been in there with Spence, you've been in there with Crawford. Who would you say is the bigger puncher? Right? Let's see what Kell Brook has to say.
Who's the best fighter out of those two? Who's the king of the welterweights?
I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now. But styles make fights. Obviously, Spence is a natural southpaw. Still be very interested. Everyone is still tuning in, but.
Excuse me. He asked in that particular question, who do you say is the king of the welterweight division? I'm sorry. In that particular question, he said, hey, you fought both of them. Who do you think is better and who's the king of the welterweight? And he basically, and this, I love Kell Brook because of this, because Sean Porter, his humility was so out there for doing the interview with Terrence Crawford. Y'all go check that video out on the Porterway podcast. And then also check my video out I did reviewing what Terrence Crawford said about possibly retiring. But Sean Porter put himself out there. I'm gonna talk to him. We cool to the Kell Brook is such an arrogant, smug motherfucker, and this is why I love him. And he's always gonna be one of my favorite fighters. He's like, well, if we're gonna, the question was, you were in the ring with both of them, Kell, Terrence and Earl. Who do you feel like the best fighter is? And this motherfucker is gonna be like, he's gonna say, oh, Well, Earl and Terrence, they both fought Sean Porter, and Terrence beat the shit out of Sean compared to Spence. So I know I'm exaggerating, but more or less, he look at the way he beat Sean and look at the way Earl beat Sean. So Terrence is the top. Ain't nobody asked about this. We asked about the Sean Porter question. We said you. So I love that about, and that's why he's such a smug. I don't like cutting too much. I want to keep but he's such a smug motherfucker, man. Like smug, arrogant. But I love Kel, man. He's always gonna be one of my top fighters. He's always gonna be one of my favorite fighters. Always, he is a legend, and I love it. It's because of shit like that.
I think just with the way he dealt with Porter, I think you have to start leaning towards.
What about
Crawford,
you?
Just because of Spencer's car crashes, he had probably had retina in his eyes. I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford when you're in that fight.
Right, and who's the biggest puncher out of Spence and Crawford? Being there with
I'd say Spence.
Spence.
You see that? You see how quick he was with that too? He wasn't supposed to ask me that. You wasn't supposed to ask me that. Hold on, I'm gonna rewind that.
I'd say Spence.
Spence being there with Crawford. Being there with
I'd say Spence.
Spence.
Say Spence. Hold on, we're gonna go back just a little bit. Hold on.
He's puncher. So who's got the best?
He's about to say who's got the best, who's the biggest puncher. And then look when now I also want to point this out in every single question we can go through. You see this? You see this? You see I'm going all the way back. This man has made eye contact with the reporter the entire time, right? The entire time. Now I may be pointing out I might be petty, I might be pointing out some bullshit, but he's made an eye contact the entirety of this 2 minutes 18. Now watch what happens when he asks who's the biggest puncher.
Who's the biggest puncher out of Spence and Crawford? Being there with
I'd say Spence.
I don't know if that means anything. But it's the first time he answered a question rather than looking straight at him. He was like, I'll say Spence. I'll say Spence. I don't know, man. Obviously I'm a Terrence Crawford fan. I love Spence. He's a beast, but I've loved Bud. I've been a fan of Bud before Spence. So to me, someone's gonna say the proof's in the pudding. Look how it went. But also, Kell Brook is just smug asshole, and that's why I love him. So he probably didn't even like him being like, why are you asking me that question? What's wrong with you, bro? Don't ask me no question like that, for I slap the shit out you. But Kell Brook, what I'm saying? Kell Brook says that Errol Spence is the bigger puncher. Which you can't say maybe he's not lying. He did, basically break his orbital bone in his eye. Obviously, that's where the orbital bone is. So I don't know why I said the eye, but he did do it. So obviously, Kell Brook had a much devastating injury fighting Errol Spence, right? But he was put out quicker fighting Terrence Crawford. But a lot of people say Kell Brook is washed. I don't think he's washed. I saw him fight the 2 fights before Terrence Crawford. They weren't on the level of Terrence Crawford, but he's not washed. Like I'm telling you, I am wholeheartedly and fully supporting Kell Brook into this Amir Khan fight. He is going to win this fight. He's going to knock out Amir Khan. And if he doesn't, I'm going to be depressed. I'm just going to be 100 with you. But all right, before we get up out of here, obviously, the last of this bad boy, we're talking about Amir Khan, Brook. It's official. We're finally having it, 4 to 5 years later. Some would say too late. But I got to shed some light just because, Kell Brook, I've always had love for. I'm always going to have love for, and I'm never not going to not. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's pull it up, baby. Let's talk about my man's Instagram, Kell Brook. Let's see what he's talking about. You already know Khan Brook official Saturday night, 19th of February of next year. God damn it! I can't wait. How about this? Let's listen to what he's saying.
We're going to be fighting each other, but
we're going to be fighting each other.
To veer off, he's never given me no respect.
He never given me no respect.
He's never, he's saying fight this guy and I'll fight you. If you win a world title, I'll fight you.
Say fight that guy, I'll fight you.
Look at me and understand that I'm going to be over with you when you're out cold. You.
Okay.
You're getting knocked out. You know what it's like to be knocked spark out, don't you?
You know what it's like to be and get
gonna
knocked
happen
spark out, don't you? I can't wait for this fight, man. He said, you know what it's like getting sparked out, don't you? That's disrespectful, Kel, because Terrence Crawford did that to you. That's the only person who's done it, but he did to you. Now you've been stopped, TKO, but that's the thing. Amir Khan and Brook, they both fought Terrence Crawford. That's the thing too. So, but shit, I'm there. I'm all in for it, man. I think it's gonna be fire.
I did, because you've got one guy that is. There we go. We've got one guy
there we
that
go,
is
baby.
media savvy, and we got another guy that's raw. So we
who's
start
raw?
at the
I
beginning.
want to know which one's raw. I feel like they both media savvy.
This is what it's going to be like. They might get to the stage where they got to keep these two apart, because it's proper, it's real, and people don't understand.
No, because that's
It's
the
gonna be
question.
fire, man. I don't care what nobody says.
Is this rivalry really real? When things
Is this rivalry really real? What do you know, woman? I'm gonna knock him spark out, clean out.
Bring the diet into place and be ready. You know, I think actions speak louder than words, and
actions
I'll
speak
be ready
louder than
for
words.
February 19th. It's going to be carnage.
What wins you the fight, Kel?
Accuracy, you know, power, you know, and relentless, just coming forward to take his chin clean off your head. Basically, I'm coming. Forget boxing. Forget what I've learned. I'm coming for a pub fight. I'm coming for a car park scrap.
You believe that?
And what brings?
Obviously gonna stay.
I kind of do, because I'm like, Kell Brook, man, he's had beef with Amir Khan for the longest, bro. For the longest. What's good with it, brother? Coming up in here, man. Tio is now humbled by Kambosos. Possibly, man. That's. Look, this is the thing. It all depends on how he's gonna feel. I'm gonna say 2 weeks from now, because as of right now, I don't see a humbling, in my opinion. From what I see that they're gonna go back and they're gonna look at the tape. They're gonna look at the statistics, and they're gonna say, "Hey, man, we lost that fight on the scorecards, but in our minds, we feel like we won it. And if we ever got a rematch, we could win it." Like that's the stance I see them taking. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's the right way to go, but I'm like, as of now, I haven't seen any humbling. I just haven't, and I wish we would, but we'll see. Like I touched on it earlier in the stream. I love George Kambosos, what he said. How he addressed it, and he just said, man, he's a young man. This is his first ever loss. He kind of got caught in the highlights, deer in the headlights type thing, and this is how how he's reacting to it. I can't be mad at him. It's not directed toward me. It's just he doesn't know how to handle this particular situation. He's never been in it, and he didn't expect it to happen. So we're gonna see if it's a humbling. But you got to remember, Tio, he's only 24 years old. Can you humble a man in such a close fight? Can you? If you have everyone in your corner telling you that you won and you got robbed, and then you can even look back at the statistics and say you maybe statistically lost the fight in certain areas, but you may have gotten outlanded by your opponent, 4 punches, 5 punches, 10 punches, but your percentages was higher in every single round except the last. What does that say? We can build on that. So, boxing is an iffy sport, and just from what their corner and what I'm seeing from what they're saying in the response, I got to see 2 weeks from now. What are they going to say 2 weeks from now? I like, Tell he cleaned it up a little bit. Now I showed that he cleaned it a little bit. He cleaned it up just a little bit, by coming out and, putting out that apology. Well, not apology, but just saying thank you for the support, things like that. He changed up his tune just a little bit. He didn't go extensively into I should have won the fight and all this type of things. And I don't hold anything over him for what he said in that post-fight interview, but I give it to him for this. But the humbling is hard for me to see. Tio and his father were thunderous with their mouths. Now it's time to humble and focus on training. I agree with that to the fullest, man. Box PLE, I agree that. And I think we're going to see that from Teofimo behind closed doors. I think he's going to get back grinding, going hard. His father really hasn't said too much statements afterwards. Like a lot of the statements and a lot of things that Teofimo's father said, that was like, initially after the fight. So it was a lot of interviews after the fight, but I haven't seen him come out with anything publicly, since then. So I like that he posted this, but I would be interested to see a couple weeks from now, how his father reacts, what he's gonna say, because at some point they're gonna have to readdress everything, as well as Teofimo. Because like I said in the last stream on Sunday, I really think that Bob Arum is not going to sit well with them not taking a rematch with George Kambosos. I think that rematch is going to somehow come into play. They're going to try and make that happen. Bob Arum, like, you can't do that, because no way Bob Arum is going to be like, Kambosos is talking about fighting Devin Haney. Devin Haney's with Eddie Hearn. Kambosos with Eddie Hearn. That means we're going to finna lose all the belts, and I got to jump through loops if I want Loma to even having a chance back at the 135 belts. Teofimo was already talking about going up. So thinking about the power play Bob Arum would have had if Teofimo beat Kambosos, dropped all the belts, and then moved up. Now you have Loma into play. There's no reason not to make Devin Haney versus Loma. Right? Now with Teofimo losing, Kambosos having all the belt, Teofimo is a far cry away from even touching Teofimo now. Excuse me, from touching Devin Haney. So it's hard for me to believe Bob Arum as a promoter is going to allow Teofimo to walk away from that rematch. I think he's going to do everything he can, because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't benefit him much. It doesn't benefit Top Rank much. Teofimo versus Josh Taylor, because Josh Taylor's with Top Rank. That's a fact, but my bad. Salute to you, Box. Box PLE, I appreciate you coming up in here, man. Talking that shit. I don't want to get too far away from, obviously what I was talking about in the sense of the Amir Khan, Kell Brook fight that's coming up. I'm not going to touch too far on that, because you know what I'm saying, I've been up at this thing rocking and smoothing for a little bit, so I'm not going to go too much longer. But I just want to say, personally, I'm a big Kell Brook fan. I'm always going to be a big Kell Brook fan. I'm excited. I'm excited for that fight coming up. I know it's in February, so I'm not going to talk too much on it. But it's going to be fire, man. I can't be mad that they finally putting something together that that's what I want. Who you pick between Devin Haney and Cambo? I picked Cambo Bosos wins over Devin Haney. I'm a big Devin Haney fan. I'm a huge Devin Haney fan. I think Devin Haney's the future of the 135 division. Him going up, I would have to wait and see once he kind of grows into his body and things like that. But I'm a big Devin Haney fan. I don't think Devin Haney loses to Kambosos. I don't think he loses to Coco Diaz. I don't think Devin Haney loses to Ryan Garcia. I don't think he loses to I think the only person he might have problems with is Gervonta Davis. Not because Gervonta Davis is a better boxer than him, but I just think, Devin Haney hasn't come into his grown man strength yet. We're talking about a guy in Kambosos who's 28 years old. We're talking about a guy in Teofimo who's 24 years old. Gervonta Davis is 26 or 27. Devin Haney's only 22. He's only 22. And he has who on his record? He has Gamboa, he has Linares, and now he's about to fight Coco Diaz, who beat someone like Tevin Farmer. And I know if you're a big boxing head, you might not know how good Tevin Farmer is or how great Tevin Farmer is. But Tevin Farmer at one point was supposed to be, the king of the 135 division, the same way Gervonta was. Them two were rumored as being the next big things up. So him fighting Coco Diaz at his age, at 22 years old, it's hard for me to see Devin Haney lose anyone. But we got that this weekend. We got that coming up this weekend. Devin Haney versus Coco. So the Fluence Lounge is hopping up. You know what I'm saying? Box PLE. I don't know if you're a subscriber to the channel, man. But subscribe to the channel, if you want. But we're going live for that fight this Saturday. So I'm a big Devin Haney fan. I can't wait for that. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. And I hope people don't take that away from Devin Haney, because people don't understand how good of a fighter Coco Diaz is. To be able to beat Tevin Farmer at the time that he did was exceptional. But I think Tevin Farmer is, this is his perfect time for him to creep back into the division, because people forgot about Tevin Farmer. But Farmer's the one guy that I think him creeping in the division now, if he's on his A game, he gives everybody in the 135 division and 140 division a hard fight. And by the way, I have a 5 video coming on Farmer this week. I'm telling you, no one talks about Tevin Farmer. No one in the boxing community talks about Tevin Farmer. Well, guess what? God damn it, I do. Just like no one's probably going to talk about it in Amir Khan, Kell Brook press conference today. And I don't blame you, because not too many people give a damn. I'll say that much. But cannot wait for this. His Northern Side came out.
Crawford, I'll speak to Crawford. You pussy, you don't start giving me
Yo,
the big
when we
ones.
get that
Play a
time,
job.
you look for a way out. Quit in that fight, you.
Do you have any objections to fighting Kell Brook?
I mean, 147 is a division. I mean, who wants to see the Kell Brook fight? Amazing. I mean, that's what we want, man. I mean,
I love how they're hyping this shit up. Like it's like too little, too late. Like y'all was so late, but I can't wait for this fight. I want to give it some love, baby. You know, no disrespect to it, but at the end of the day, man, I feel like boxing. We have a big year expected for boxing coming up next year. I feel like we got a big, end of the year for boxing, man. This weekend we got Gervonta Davis fighting. We got Devin Haney fighting. Like that's just a crazy, double header right there. Saturday, Sunday. And then, we got some cool MMA shit going on the side of the game. Rob Font versus Jose Aldo. And then, Bellator has an event Friday. I can't remember who it is, but I'm actually interested. So I might be going live for that too. But Fluence Lounge, man, we're going to be in full effect this weekend. I might be going live for the Bellator fight main event Friday night if I can remember who it is. But I think I was interested because I remember seeing, I was like, I might go live for that. So Fluence Lounge might be doing a triple header this weekend. So we might be going Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know for sure Saturday, Devin Haney, Coco Diaz. I'm not missing that for the world. And then we got Gervonta versus Pitbull Cruz happening on Sunday. So, you know what I'm saying? If y'all not part of the channel, I don't understand what y'all waiting for. Be part of the channel, man. I told y'all, man, we're going to have a big year in 2022, man. This channel is just going to go up from here. I got some new equipment coming on the way. We got some new improvements coming on the way, all types of things, man. I'm just trying to find ways to make shit a little bit better, make it a little bit more entertaining for, all the BlakGooseTV family and, all the boxing fans, man. We out here. Don't let nobody tell you boxing is boring, man. If you think boxing is boring, you just don't know nothing. And you probably can't defend yourself if someone came up and slapped you on the side of your head. No, I'm playing. Much love. But I'm going to get up out of here. Look out for Fluence is in possibly happening tonight still, too. We might still drop that tonight. But I'm going to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to keep saying it. And I'm going to keep goddamn saying it. Look out for that Tevin Farmer video. I'm going to be dropping that shit. It's going to be lit, man. I'm telling you that right now. So, don't sleep on your boy. But much love to everybody. Hold up. Before I get up out of here, I'm going to answer this question right here. Before I get up out of here. Who do you pick between Gervonta, and I'm assuming you're talking about, I believe it's Isaac Pitbull Cruz. If I got his first name wrong, excuse me, but I know it's Pitbull Cruz. It will be a good fight, but I think Gervonta will win. I got Gervonta. I've never seen it's similar to the Teofimo Lopez fight and Kambosos. As much as that's why I'm giving all the love and the shout out and the salute to Kambosos tonight. You know what I'm saying? If you rewind it, go back to the beginning of the video. It was all about Kambosos, not necessarily Teofimo. And the reason I was doing that because it's like I said during the Fluence Lounge, I was like, I don't know. Like I'm picking Teofimo to win, but if Kambosos win, it's not because I think he's not better than Teofimo, just because of my ignorance. I've never seen Kambosos fight. And that comes down to, once again, being under a certain banner, being under a certain promotion. You're just not exposed to certain things, especially, UK fighters. You got to be really looking for those type of things. I'm into the UK scene. I knew who Kambosos was, but I never watched a whole fight. So it's the same thing with this Pitbull Cruz guy. Like when I watch his highlights, when I watch his training footage, he looks like a beast. Right? He looks like he's going to bring the fight. He actually looks like this is going to be a more competitive fight than the Rolly fight, right? And also, there's also that rumor going around that was started from Rolly that this was supposed to be Gervonta's mandatory. Well, Gervonta was supposed to fight Pitbull Cruz anyways, and Rolly activated his mandatory, fucking that bag up. And now somehow allegations came out. And I'm not believing in conspiracies and nothing like that, but that's what Rolly said. And also some other sources confirmed that to be true. Either way, Cruz looks like a Pitbull Cruz. He looks like a dog. He looks like a Pitbull. But, I don't know who he is. I never seen him fight. So I got to go with the guy, Gervonta. And if Gervonta, ends up having a hell of a fight, or if he ends up having a tough fight or lose, whatever it may be, it's because of my ignorance to that particular boxer. I had no idea how good he was, because I never seen him fight. And I can say I have no problem telling people that. I hate when people try to make it seem like, oh, well, I see this. Just be real. Like, you think one fighter is gonna win because you never seen another dude fight. Like, you don't act like you that hardcore where you seen every fighter fight, right? You know what I'm saying? I can go off of some highlights. I can maybe watch some fights, but at the end of the day, what did Devin Haney say? Skills pay the bills. So I won't be able to understand his level of skills per se in the boxing ring, how it, equates to Javante's until they're in there. That's just truth of the matter. But that was me. That was a long-winded way of me saying I got Javante. But you know what I'm saying? I'll be back. I'll be back this weekend for sure for the Fluence Lounges. And then look out for Zen and Fluence, man. We might be dropping that tonight. Little podcast where we're just talking. Y'all know what it is. But I just want to say salute, blessings, positivity to everybody. Hopefully y'all enjoyed y'all Thanksgiving last week. Hopefully y'all still, y'all feeling good. And y'all took that positivity and blessings, into this week. Because that's how you stay up. So everybody, salute, salutations. I'm about to here. Before I leave, please hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Get your boy into the algorithm. Fluence Boxing is back. And we coming back strong. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're not part of the channel, we only got more content for you. Much love. And salute, baby. I'm gonna get up out of here.
That's where it really just don't fade away. But where you been, nigga, really I'd say. Got the type of nigga y'all just really hate. To work you out, but I'm a go film a play. Stacking money, yeah, like every day. Praying for some better days. All this pain that you see that be on my face. Looking guilty like a nigga caught case. Cause lately, I swear I've been in the dog's place. Wish that I can go and I could hide my face. Don't know what the fuck lately to really chase. But I swear I got money in the baited like I'm pork chase. Something feel like I could be fourth grade. Never felt like you did really to be dumb things. I'm losing open, I swear all that shit's fake. But I swear every day, yeah, I just still be getting paid. But all that really do, it really numb the pain. The hurt, I swear they got me feeling so insane. Every day I put a smile up on my face. But every day I swear that shit to be so fake. Frontin' one like on the play. Swear every day I swear that I be losing faith. Hoping that they the same fate. But lately I swear I just been here and day. Lately I swear I just really sad days. Yeah, y'all know what I'm feeling, you understand what I'm saying. I swear to God, yeah, I ain't really playing. Feel like lately I just be up in the state. But I don't know there's any more that I can take. Try to do better, but I feel like it's too late. I'm in my head, girl, cause that pussy was great. I swear I was addicted to that pussy fake. Lady feeling so great. How you do this bad? How you do this bad? I'm in my head, think who to blame. Something on my head say yeah, it's all just part of the game. Why every day I swear I be feeling all the shame. Trying to smile but I swear that shit really don't feel same. Losing my direction like a nigga cannot aim. Still wishing that a nigga like me ain't really changed. But I swear I still ain't really motherfucking changed. Giving words like I don't even know it's from the pain. Call my mama up and tell her that I love her cray. I be in the drinks and then I'm feeling like I'm losing my brain. I need someone just to talk to, but I really can't explain. That makes it so weird, do it really sound so insane? Praying that I'm better, but I don't know. I'm out of this praying thing.